Hey guys, I'm here with a special video. This is the first part of a very special video on my camper that I'm kind of creating out of a cargo trailer. And this specifically is to go over the installation and actually my review of the Carefree of Colorado Freedom Top Mount Awning. So let's get to it. Okay guys, welcome back to CampGeeks, and this time I'm doing kind of an install video, and it's going to follow up with my full-blown review of what I think about the product. But this is the Freedom Roof Mount Awning from Carefree of Colorado. They sent this actually over to me to show you guys how it installs on a less than ideal surface. In this case, this is a makeshift travel trailer that I am creating out of a enclosed trailer that I had custom ordered with all the goodies. I have several videos of me actually dedicating to this trailer for a lot of different things, but this is going to be the install portion of this. So I'll have a second video that's going to be my thoughts after using it for a while. Thankfully it's a hot day, 90 degrees out I think right now, and I've already got part of it done. I wanted to get at least a start on it before I actually started the video, so I had an idea of how everything's going together, because I'm kind of winging this how I actually want to mount it. But they do have the awning, and then they send you the roof mount kit. In this case, this is a flat roof mount kit, because my roof is fairly flat up there. So we're going to get hopefully a lot of actually good video here. But let me grab you the pieces. I have one of the mounts up there, as you can see up there. I'm going to grab the one I haven't mounted yet and show you how it actually clamps onto this guy, onto the awning itself, and then show you what I'm doing on the roof as well as in the trailer to make sure that it is fully secured to the trailer. So this is the bottom of the awning, and this is the flat mount kit that actually mounts to the trailer. This is the top part, which is actually what attaches to the actual awning. This is the bottom part that's obviously sitting on top of the roof, and then there is two mounting holes that you need to, these are for the front edge, but that's not what it's going to actually bear most of the weight. That's just going to keep it from lifting up. You're going to actually drill multiple holes back here to fasten it to your roof, so that's going to depend on how you're going to fasten it. This, as you can see, there's a little lip here. It actually locks onto that little guy there. There we go. And then there's little pieces that actually slide in here that actually mount to the rail itself. So you can obviously see how it actually kind of goes together. I haven't played around with anything more than that, because they do give you all the mounting hardware, other than stuff to actually mount it to the roof itself. That's up to you, depending on the fasteners you're going to really need. At least in my case, they didn't send anything to fasten it to the roof, but of course, every roof is going to be different. So, in my case, I'm using essentially sheet metal screws, self-tapping sheet metal screws, just a heavy. These are number 12, so nice and thick. You could probably even go to a number 14. But it all depends on what you're fastening to. And I have the two that they have pre-drilled, but I'm putting 4 in the backside. Also, I'm using a sealant tape that I'm putting on this. It's basically the sealant putty. It's the stuff from Dicor. Pretty inexpensive. It's like a roll of it, and you'll see it here in just a few minutes. Is like $6, $7, or whatever it is. So let me go up on the roof and show you the one that I actually did, and then we'll go inside the trailer and show you how it's actually fastened on the inside. So up here on the roof of my trailer, this is the roll of Dicor that I'm just getting ready for the next one. I just set up here, but you can see how it's just a bracket there. It's like 15 3/4 wide. So if there's one thing that I wish that they would make this more like 17 inches wide, because then I could actually just set it right over the joists that are 16 on center because of the indentation here. Then I could actually basically boom. So I wish that the holes, I guess, were 16 on center. It could be as wide as it wanted to be. 16 on center holes would be much preferred. In this case, they're not. So I have this one actually drilled directly this guy right here, directly into the actual cross member that's up here on the roof. The back ones, and I'll show you what I did on those, they're actually in a piece of aluminum as well, and then this one actually over here is also into a piece of aluminum that I placed in there that I was actually braced in between the two roof joists. So let me show you that. Alright, hopefully you can see this. So basically what I did is, that first one, like I said, is right in this piece here, and I apologize for the tape, but that's actually for insulation that I put up to hold that up. So I just bought 1-inch aluminum tubes, because this is all aluminum framed, and ran between there and actually fastened it to the actual members on both sides. So that front, the second front one is like right here, maybe a bit more like right in here. And then the back side, they're all basically drilled into this back side here that's actually lift up is fully secured to the main braces itself. So we should be fully good because everything is very, very well fastened in here. Lots of bolts, or lots of fasteners. Shouldn't have any problems. You could always potentially add more fasteners, essentially, I guess, tying them together or putting a cross brace in if you needed to. I would actually play that by ear based on how it actually pans out during its use. So essentially now it's just about getting the second one in place, which means I have to remove a little bit of insulation on the inside, but get the two cross braces put in exactly essentially the same position based on the length of this, which is 98 inches or 95 inches from inside to inside for the actual pieces. So I'm going to have the brackets probably inside in this area here. It's going to stand out a little bit from that, but that's okay. It's got the rail the entire length. So that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to try to get that in place up there, or I guess placed on the inside before I can actually mount it on the outside. So we're going to go inside. It's going to be hard for you to see. It's going to be a little bit darker in the back end of the trailer. Yeah, we're going to go in there and we're going to mount the two brackets. So before we actually hit in, I'm going to get them cut and get them ready. I apologize if anything changed, but my other camera's kind of fogging up, so with all the humidity and everything, I decided to go with the GoPro. So these are the crossbars that I have been placing in there, and I'm going to now, as you could saw on the other one, put these little corner brackets in, and then place it into the actual piece itself, which I don't need this extension bit right now. You'll see what I use that for in just a little bit. So all I've been doing is just obviously lining it up with the edge. And these are self-tapping screws, so it makes it real quick and easy. It makes it not too bad to do this. And so we get that one ready. Add another one on this side. And all I'm doing is just lining it up with the edge. And that's it. Trying to center it as best I can, but it's not that big of a deal if it's not perfectly on center, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna get the other one done exactly like this, and then we'll go inside. So I took the insulation out of this section, and essentially the first one's gonna go here, the second one's gonna go here. And so all I have to do now is take these pieces that I made, get them to go in here, line them up basically the same way I lined them up over there, put the fastener in here. So let me grab my screw gun and some screws. And I've already determined that I'm going to lay it on this beam here. So it's actually going to be sitting on this beam, and then it's going to be over in this area here. So pretty close to the other side, but not fully. Alright, so we got the first screw here. I apologize for the loud noise. It is inside of a camper now, so I do have my air conditioning running, so it's actually cooler for me to work in here at least. So I keep it, flush on the bottom here, and then I can just direct the second screw on each side. And now, what I'll do is I'll measure apart. I think it's like 2 and 7/8. I think 2 and 7/8 apart for the essentially where the first set of screws are and where the second set of screws go. So 2 7/8 from face to face, or center to center as it is. So I'll mark that on there, and then I'll know exactly where I need to place the second one. So you probably can't see it, but I just put a mark on 2 7/8 on the face, but I also put it on the bottom as well, so I can actually see it from below, because as soon as I get the bracket up there, it's going to be hard to see it. Get some more screws ready here. And then place it right there. Forward here. So now we got something to make this screw place. So I'll get those last screws put in real quick, but you can see now on the set, when I eventually put it on there, you'll see this gap up here disappear. It'll squeeze that foam that they set on top of these as we put the brackets on. Also, a little trick that I've been using to locate where this is up top is with my handy dandy scratch awl. I've been just kind of going up to the corner here, this one corner, just making a small little dent up. And so from above, I should be able to see that, where that dent is, and then I can know exactly where that corner is. In this case, I gotta come down and over a 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch down, 1/2 inch over. That'll be my first screw location, and my second screw location wherever it needs to be. All right, well, hopefully the camera angle is good. You're kind of up on the trailer for me, so you can see right there, that's the little dent. I don't know, you can probably see that. That's the little piece that I dented with my scratch awl. And so what I'll want to do, let me grab my pencil real quick. All right, so like I said, 1/2 inch back towards the back of the trailer and a 1/2 inch forward is where my first screw location is going to be. So I'm going to go 1/2 inch, I'm going to go 1/2 inch. So that's where my first screw location is, right on that plus mark. Now, the holes are 14 1/4 on center. That's what the holes are. So I'm going to go 14 1/4. So I'm starting on 1, I'm going 15 1/4, so 14 1/4 on center. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come off the edge here to figure out how far back that way we're going to be. So we're inch and about 5/8 from the front edge here, which is actually the exact same as it is up front, so that's good. Double check that. Adjust that a hair. There we go. So I might want to putty that. This putty's a little dry in that spot, but that's okay. So now I'm going to line this up on the crosshairs that I've made to make sure that it's where I want it. Yep, perfect. Looks the exact same as it is over there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to actually place the die core on here. And cut it to length. Let me grab my snips, because that's just what I have with me, at least right now. So this is just a putty. I'm going to place it right over the hole. I don't want it to go the whole length, because that way at least it gives me the same all the way down. And then on the back channel, where I'm going to put a lot more holes back here, I'll put this here as well. And that way, when this actually sinks down with the screws, it's actually going to seal those screw holes right back up for me. You do want to make sure you take the paper off. There we go. The front isn't as big because, I mean, there's just 2 holes there, so you could just putty the holes, but I want it to be the same push down the entire length, to be honest. So now I'm going to open up those holes so I can actually see still through the hole. Let me grab my screws and my screw gun. I already did it before with this one. There we go. Putty that one up. There we go, putty that screw up. And now I can still look through the hole because I opened up the hole a little bit to make sure I'm where I want to be. Exactly where I want to be. Alright. My first 2 holes here are going to be those are going to be the first 2 I set, and then the back ones I'm going to set as I go, because that channel should be good to go wherever I want to go. And usually I've been going in a little bit from the edge. These two are, because of how my is set up with all that sponginess, I use longer screws on the front and then the standard 3/4 inch on the back. So let me grab those. I tried using the shorter screws up front and it just wouldn't grab very well because of the thicker aluminum up here. This is thinner, this is thicker. So, and then I have to use an extension to get all the way through this. So here we go. Make sure I'm on my crosshair exactly where I want to be. And here we go. Just gonna tighten it so far for now. Make sure that I can adjust this if necessary. Looks like I'm right on the money right now. So I'm gonna go with it. She definitely bit. She's on there good. I'm gonna make sure this one's good. Alright, I'm gonna take my extension off because I don't need it. Alright, now on the back side here, this one should be in that one whole rail all by itself, so I can go wherever I want. On the far side here. And then I'm going to put two more. Alright, now let's go ahead and check on the inside and see how it actually worked on the inside. So now you can see that gap is gone because I'm squeezed in there. I don't see any fasteners sticking out anywhere. Should be good. Yep, even the foam over there and foam. Let's see, that one I might want to tighten up a little bit more on the front side. So the front side I might want to tighten up a hair more. Back side nice and tight. So sitting good. So I'm going to tighten that real quick. I don't have to can't film that. And then we'll look at actually doing the mounting of it. So we're back to the good camera, but I have set this up. I actually lifted this up by hand real quick. The brackets that we have, there are two holes that are the mounting screw brackets, and these are what they come with. They actually come with 4 square nuts, and then 4 stainless bolts that go on it. Essentially what I was going to do is the actual awning itself will go down in these grooves here and then move forward and lock into these little grooves, and then these will tighten, which essentially will push it in place so it can't back out and come unclipped. That's all these guys do. It's pretty simple. So it locks into these two, and then these keep it from unlocking. So we got 2 on each, 1 on each corner. So I've set them up just loosely in there so it's at least where it needs to be. I'm going to lift this in place, just kind of set it in place and let it latch, then come up and tighten all 4. So let me get the camera set up from afar. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is place the ladder set up back up again. Should have grabbed my other ladder, but this was down here close. See, easy to access. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get it into place. This would be easier with 2 people, but I'm trying to do it with 1, to be honest. So I would like to try. That's in. Both of them are in. That was really easy. And so now we can actually slide it left or right to get it where we want it. And all I'm going to do is just kind of run it forward, I think just a little more, just because I'm trying to cover the doorway a little bit better. This is something we can always come back and adjust before we actually mount the lower stuff. So I think that's where I'm going to go, right there. I don't want to come too far forward, and I wanted to cover the window really well. So I think that's where I'm going to sit. That's where I'm going to go with it for now, because I'm not actually going to mark the lower hugger yet. Alright, so I'm going to come back here. I'm going to keep pressure on it, so I'm going to pull it backwards so it doesn't, so the nut essentially stays where it's supposed to be. And just tighten the bolt slowly by hand until there it is. And same with that one. There's that. Probably think, oh, he's crazy. He's on the top of a ladder, which he shouldn't be. Very true. So that's just enough so it should never come undone while you're driving down the road for sure. Oops. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this thing looks like. Alright, let me grab the handle. So this is the inaugural opening. I just grabbed the handle out of the bag. I'm assuming you just turn, yep. And underneath here, let me get this set a little bit different. There are legs here. Aha! Simple. Okay, so there's a lower leg that locks in, and then once you do that lock in, then you do the second one. Okay. Got it. I'm going to show you what's actually catching on this real quick. Tell you what, I'll do that right now. Let me show you what that is. Okay, so you can see there's just basically a screw with a washer head on it. So you basically loosen this guy up, bring him up in here. See, yep, like that. And essentially it just kind of goes in there, and then you tighten the handle down on this side so it can't come undone while you're cranking it up. Really simple, so it's a lot easier, in my opinion, so it doesn't break as easy, right? So, see it here? Just simple. Cool. So now that I have a little shade here, even though the sun's starting to get over those trees a little bit, I'm going to say one more thing before I sign off on the install video, and that is this. This is a paper template that you can that I had to print off from Carefree of Colorado. It's supposed to come with the install kit with those two aluminum brackets that I was installing. It was supposed to. I would assume it's supposed to come with it because it's part of the installation instructions for that. They're very basic instructions. But I highly recommend, if you haven't done this, it'll in the main instruction book that they send you, they tell you, this is the instruction kit number for your flat roof mount. Go online and print this out, and then you cut. There's actually a dotted line you cut, because this is a true to life. So this is the actual piece. If you're looking at a cross section up above, this is actually a cross section of the actual piece, the cross section of the bracket. So you can actually figure out, this is supposed to be the buffer area for your roof line. So this helped me decide how close to the edge or how far away from the edge I was supposed to bring this thing. So not a full necessity, I think, but it did allow me to know exactly where it was going to sit without me actually having to haul the whole thing up there. The first time I put the awning on top of my roof was when I mounted it. So same thing goes, I brought it out and I showed you how to collapse the leg. Basically collapse the leg, and then you just tighten that thing out. The nice thing about it stands out by itself, and then you set it up and you're good. And then when you go to fold it away, you put those away and then you bring it all the way back. So Carefree of Colorado, awesome job. I have another Carefree of Colorado awning I'm going to be doing in the future for a window awning, so that's coming up later as soon as I have time to do it. But this installer here, not difficult if you have any kind of if you've ever done any kind of install work on most things, I guess, as long as you know how to operate a drill, put a screw in, and you're comfortable with locating where you need to put screws, not that bad of an install, to be honest. So the product itself seems high quality. I can't wait to fully test it. I'm going camping this weekend, so I'm going to get the best test I think I can out of it. You're supposed to get some storms too. So I love the orange. I love the orange. So it's actually been several days, actually about a little over a week now actually, since I shot the video of me installing the Carefree of Colorado Freedom awning, and I've already used it on a camping trip and love it actually. I love a lot of things about it, but I have decided that I am going to actually, well, as you can see, attach the attachment points on the bottom. So part of its install video at least, you'll actually see how that goes as well. It's not a necessity. It does work fine setting up like this. You can actually stake it down if you'd like as well. However, what I found is when we were camping there was a big windstorm, and so I pulled the awning back first, just a couple feet out, just in case it did start raining and keep the rain off. And even then I was kind of leery of leaving it out like that, so eventually before we went to bed I sucked it all the way back in. But if I actually had the legs out like this, now I wouldn't leave it like this if I was going to bed, but pulling it back just to keep any moisture off the windows at least that are direct moisture would definitely be a big plus. So I've decided to install it. Now I've already installed the one clip over here, so I'm going to bring the camera over there real quick and show you that one, and then we're going to install this side. The big thing about these, which you don't have to do it this way, but typically what you would do is you would bring it back basically 90 degrees right down the awning line there. So you could actually just take, if you have your camper leveled, just take a level off the edge of this and just bring it straight down. Now, I'm more into the making sure I hit something solid to actually drill into, and because I am actually putting it up on the body here, I'm actually going to put it right in line with these screws here that I have here, so right into my aluminum member I have here, which actually comes out to almost square. I'm actually planning on taking the awning slightly forward about 2-3 inches, just so I have better coverage around the door, because the door and the window are the only thing I really use the awning for anyway. If I'm sitting outside, I'm going to be sitting out here. I'm not going to be sitting by the exhaust for my air conditioning unit. So that's what we're going to do. So I just have it out here just as normal, but then I'll show you what I did over there first. So I actually had one of these screws, I actually have it right down here, that was actually already through holding my diamond plating on through to the trailer itself. I took that out and actually puttied that hole, and you can see the same putty that I used up on the roof. Now, I will point this out as well, I didn't say this before, the actual roof awning pieces up there, they do come with like a rubber that you can stick on the bottom. I prefer actually using the sealant type items, so that's what I decided to use. You don't have to buy this. It does come with a rubber tape, and I can show you that here in a second as well. I just used the flathead screws because, well, I can show you that as well actually. So this is what the bracket looks like before it goes on. Essentially you put it on like this, so that once you put the foot in, I can show you up here, it actually lift this little bar up, slide the foot in, put it flat, drop the bar, and now it can't actually come out on its own. When you go to remove, you just lift and take it out. So it's actually very, very easy. I was going to use my stealth tappers that I kind of used the rest of the thing. However, they stick out to the point where you can't actually drop the foot down in there. So I had to go out and get some flat screws, and unfortunately they didn't have self-threading ones. So I have to use, basically I mark it on there, I use my self-tapping screw, my self-threading or self-tapping screw to screw the holes, and then I use the flat screws to actually go in to hold it. Now I actually hit something before and broke one of my screws. These are stainless steel, so I'm going to have to go out and get another one of these. But I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and go back down to the hardware store later and get the last one of these to finish it out. But at least I can get it mounted for now. So that's what we'll do on the other side. Alright, so this is where this is the spot that we're going to actually put it in. What I'm going to actually do to start is take the actual bracket itself, lay it exactly where I want to put it. Where's my pencil? There it is. So that's exactly where I'm going to want to put it. And then I'm going to mark my holes with the pencil. Now I just have it setting on my bottom rail so I know they're in the exact same spot on each side. And that way it gets it out of the way for me as well. So I'm going to use my drill driver here to actually basically pre-drill the holes. And you could obviously use a drill bit as well, but this just makes it real easy because these are the same threading. Bottom hole is a little more of a bugger to me, so it is what it is. I already pre-cut how much I needed off of my butyl tape. Stick that guy on there. Now, best thing you should probably do is clean the surface. I'm going to grab a rag real quick and just wipe down the surface. Denatured alcohol is typically best. I did the denatured on the other side when I did it. Let me grab that. Alright, so I just put a little denatured alcohol on my rag itself. And then once that's dry, and of course this rag is because of the aluminum. Yay. Once that's dry, which shouldn't take very long, then we can go ahead and just stick this guy on there. I'm going to go ahead and prep this guy so the holes are actually showing. Alright, so as long as we have it in there, make sure we have it in the right direction. With that. And once, you don't want to go too tight. Once it starts coming out, you should be good to go. So that's what we're going to go with right there. And then I'll get the second screw in at a later time because I broke one, of course. So now, if I pull this out, so now all I can do is I can actually release this so it's actually adjustable. Bring it down here. Lock that into place. Lock that. And now we have a fully secured awning that can't lift. And so same thing goes, you can also, if you actually should be able to, if you release both these locking arms here, then we can actually grab the awning tool here. There we go. Let's say I just want to keep the moisture off and then go ahead and lock these arms back up. Quick and simple, and then you can obviously do the same thing. You can release those again and crank it out. So very easy to install, very easy to adjust. One last thing that they did give you to install that currently I'm not installing, I'm going to show you that. So also in the hardware kit, along with the fasteners and screws to do it, they give you these orange clips. And these orange clips are actually something that you can mount on the wall of the trailer, and they're actually clips that you can hang this guy up. I haven't decided where I want to hang it yet, so I'm currently not going to hang it, but it is there. Yeah. I can also clip it from that side. Look at that. So either way, didn't know that. But essentially you can mount that, and then you can hang this so it's quick and easily accessible. I just haven't decided where I wanted to put it yet. I'm probably thinking on the inside of the trailer, obviously. But that is something that they do give you, so you can mount your winding arm or winding piece. But yeah, that's that. So there you have it. That is the full install from start to finish of the entire awning process, as well as my thoughts after using the actual awning in the camping environment that I'm building the trailer for. Now, there are not a whole lot of downsides to this specific product. Once I actually got it and started installing it, I realized that those 2 feet can really be placed almost anywhere within the actual awning span. I definitely would like to keep it towards the outside edge, so they're not bunched up together. The one thing I will say, this is the one downside I have to the entire awning, is that those feet that are, in my case, 15 3/4 inches wide, they need to be wider. Because if you have studs or roof spans or roof joints that are 16 inches on center, those holes, the holes that they have pre-drilled, should be 16 inches on center, which means it probably should be about 18 inches wide. That's my estimated guess, but it should be sitting on top of those ribs, and I should not have had to actually add more material inside the roof to carry the structure of the actual awning. That's the only downside I have to this entire process, is that specific point. Those feet for the top mount awning need to be wider. They need to be, the holes themselves need to be 16 inches on center, but you can't, in not all cases, you can't just think that, oh yeah, where I'm going to drill it, there's going to be a consistent beam there. In my case, there wasn't. So Carefree of Colorado, if there's one thing you need to fix, that is the one thing. And I'm definitely going to send that off in an email directly to Carefree of Colorado as well. So I'm going to make sure that point's known. So hopefully they fix that in the future. In my case, I fixed it myself. I was reluctant to wait, so I did it. And in the end, I have no setbacks, no. I'm glad I did what I did, and I'm glad how it actually came out. And the awning itself is fantastic. That whole Freedom awning is awesome. Now they have a face mount type, and this is the top mount, or the roof mount type. So you can get that same awning in a different type of mount. So definitely call up Carefree of Colorado if you're looking to replace an awning, looking to add an awning. Highly recommend these guys. These guys know what they're doing, and they make some awesome, awesome stuff. Not the other four-letter word. So I want to thank Carefree of Colorado for sending this over to me to do this awesome video. It was entirely too much fun to do, and I can't wait to show you guys more because I did another awning install. This is going to be their SL window awning on the other side of the trailer. So I have that coming up. I'm going to post a link when I actually have that up down in the description, but also if you just stay tuned on CampGeeks, you're going to find it. If you have any questions on this entire product, on any of the products that you've seen on this channel, but it's been more specifically with the Carefree of Colorado stuff, head over to CampGeeks, contact me directly through the website, and ask me questions. Emailing is the best way to get a hold of me, so go through the website. That's how you're going to find me. Comment below, subscribe, share this video, like it, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys watching and sticking by all the way to the end because I know this was a lengthy video. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and I cannot wait to show you more because I have a lot more to show you. So thanks for sticking by. Catch you on a future video. We'll see you soon.